Shelby him tied to a chair. I sat across from him, elbows on my knees, eyes locked on his. He still wore the mask. Shelby ripped it off. A pale, nervous face. "What's your name?" "Jason." "Jason, how did you find me?" He said nothing. I leaned forward, calm, too calm. "I don't usually repeat questions without violence, but I'll give you one more shot. How did you find me?" His voice cracked. "He sent me." "Who?" "The Lord of Hunters." "Where did he send it?" "A dark web forum, encrypted, hidden." "And the two girls?" I asked. "Same method?" His eyes widened in shock. "How? How did you know I did that?" "I left no trace. I made sure." I smiled faintly. "You were careful, I'll give you that, but you gave yourself away just now." "You see, Jason, the first victim was shot instantly. No time, no hesitation. But the girls? You let them hold hands. You gave them a moment before pulling the trigger. And tonight, you let me smile. You have a weakness, Jason. You give your prey closure. Tell me what you know about the Lord." "I don't know him," Jason stuttered. "He offers $50,000 for each confirmed kill, but you have to film it. Send the footage. That's the rule." "So you have his contact?" "No, he sends. I don't reply. After I send the video, money just shows up. Crypto, auto-transferred to my wallet." I stood up. "Thank you, Jason. That's all I needed." 3 minutes later, Jason's phone buzzed. A message. "Where's the video? You're late." I looked at Jason. "He's waiting." I turned to Shelby. "You don't need to be a part of this. Leave. Now." "Officer." "Colin, no. You don't have to do this." "I don't have time. More people will die if we hesitate." Shelby stood frozen, then walked out the door, closing it behind him. Bang! The gunshot echoed through the hallway. Shelby rushed back in. Jason's body lay motionless on the floor. Colin stood over him, cold as winter. Without a word, he picked up the phone, filmed the corpse, sent the video. Seconds later, a reply. "Amazing!" Then, $50,000 appeared in the wallet app. Colin stared at the screen, his voice a whisper of rage. "Now you're mine, you son of a bitch!" The city lights reflected off the windshield as Shelby drove silently through the lower sector. I stared out the window, lost in the weight of silence. The phone buzzed in my coat pocket. "Rocky." I answered immediately, putting him on speaker. "Officer Colin, I got the bastard." I sat up. "Who is it?" "The money sender. The wallet that transferred the last bounty. I hacked the origin device, took everything I could before it burned the connection. And his name is Steve Wayne. That's all I've got so far. The guy is filthy rich, like next level rich. One of the wealthiest people in the city, but there's no data on his job or even his age. It's like the guy exists, but doesn't." Next to me, Shelby was already scribbling notes in his small notebook. I tapped the dashboard lightly. "Did you find any suspicious messages, contacts, clues about who he's working with?" "No," Rocky replied. "Nothing. The device is definitely his, but it's sterile. No texts, no calls, no email traffic, just money and encrypted connections. So we have a name, but no trail." "Exactly." I ended the call, sat back. The first real crack in the system. But cracks aren't enough. I wanted the whole damn wall to fall. We were back at the station. The usual hum of machines and clicking keyboards filled the air, but my mind was elsewhere. I told Shelby to dig deeper. Find out everything you can about Steve Wayne. Leave nothing out. Then I stood before the crime board. Dozens of photos, red strings, maps, notes, all leading nowhere. I stared at the center, the faces of the dead, and whispered, "Will I end you soon, Steve?" I knew the answer, or at least the cost of it. What I did back in my apartment, that was no longer police work. That was a message, and that message might end my career, or worse. But so be it. This wasn't a turf war, not drug dealers killing each other in alleys. This was different. Innocent people were dying, and I'd rather burn with them than sit and watch. A few hours later, Shelby returned with a folder in hand and a tired face. "Detective Colin, I've got what you asked for." "Go on." "Steve Wayne, owner of Wayne Construction and Development, 33 years old, studied computer engineering. Inherited the company after his father died in a skiing accident. Unmarried, lives alone in a villa in the elite Northcrest district. He paused. Do we bring him in? I shook my head. Not yet. If he knows we're watching, he'll disappear. Tonight, we watch. I grabbed my coat. Let's get in the car. We're going to take a look at his house. Up close. Binoculars, back seat, and no damn blinking lights. The car was parked 3 houses down from the villa. Engine off, lights off. Only the faint ticking of the cooling hood filled the silence. Shelby sat behind the wheel, chewing nervously on the edge of a pen cap. I had the binoculars up, focused on the house. Wayne Villa was a modern fortress. Tall black gates, white stone walls, motion-activated lighting. No security guards, but I could smell tech. Cameras, sensors, silent defense systems. Anything, Shelby whispered. Curtains drawn, lights on in the second floor. He's home. I kept watching. There was movement behind the glass. A silhouette, calm, controlled. Then, he stepped into view. Steve Wayne. Dark robe, barefoot, holding a glass of something red, looking out but not at anything specific. Or so I thought. Suddenly he paused, tilted his head, just slightly. His eyes stopped, right at us. I didn't flinch, didn't move, but something in me twisted, not fear, not panic. Something worse. Shelby. Yeah, we've been spotted. Steve didn't wave, didn't panic, didn't call anyone. He just smiled. A slow, calm, unnerving smile, then turned off the lights. Shelby exhaled slowly. He knew we were watching. I lowered the binoculars. No, he was watching us. He knows, Shelby, I muttered. Shelby looked at me tense. Then what's the plan? I'm heading back to HQ. You stay here. Keep eyes on the house. If he makes a move, you follow. You really think he'll run? He won't. Not yet. He thinks he's still ahead. I left Shelby parked in the shadows, watching the silent house. The sun hadn't even cracked the horizon. By the time I reached the precinct, the sky was turning pale gray. I walked straight into Chief Zach's office. He looked up from his desk, eyebrows raised. You look like hell. I'm close, I said. Closer than I've ever been. What do you need? An official summons. Quiet. No press. No leaks. He narrowed his eyes. For who? A man named Steve Wayne. He leaned forward. Why are you calling in a billionaire? I stared at him dead in the eye. Because he wired $50,000 to a contract killer sent to shoot me in my apartment. His mouth dropped slightly. Jesus. I'll tell you everything, Zach. Just give me that signature. A long pause. Then he reached for the pen. Done. He's yours. 2 hours later, Steve Wayne walked into the station. Calm, composed, tailored suit, black gloves, zero expression. He stepped into the interrogation room. I stood on the other side of the one-way glass, watching him sit, cross one leg over the other, adjust his cuffs. He didn't look nervous. He looked amused. Let's begin, I whispered. Mr. Wayne, thanks for gracing us with your presence.
You're welcome, though I wasn't aware it was optional.
You know why you're here.
You dragged me out of bed at 7 a.m. I'd like to assume it's important.
Behind the glass, Chief Zach folds his arms. Shelby leans in. 3 days ago, a man tried to kill me. 9mm to the head. Almost textbook.
I heard about that. Silverhaven's not as safe as it used to be.
Funny thing, though, he was paid exactly $50,000. The money came from a crypto wallet. The transaction was traced.
And?
The device used for that transfer was yours.
You traced a transaction to a device, not to a person, not to me.
Do you deny owning that device?
No, but you and I both know anyone can remotely control a system these days. Hell, even a 16-year-old with a grudge can mask a signal and make it look like it came from me.
Then tell me who did it.
I'd love to, but if I don't know, I don't know.
You built a system, a game. You call it the Hunter. You pay people to kill, then reward them with cryptocurrency. Why?
You're accusing me of organizing murders based on what? A name on a forum? A payment from an unsecured device? A smile I gave you from my balcony?
You sent a man to my home. You knew we were watching your house. You looked directly at us and smiled.
Detective, paranoia is a symptom of sleep deprivation. Get some rest.
These people are dead, Steve. 4 of them. One of them was a 22-year-old girl who liked farm games and cooking videos.
That's tragic, and I hope whoever's responsible is caught.
You're smart, too smart, and right now, too clean.
Glad we agree on something.
You're free to go, for now, but don't leave the city.
Why would I? I love this city.
Steve walks out, door closes. Silence. Zach steps into the room.
You had nothing solid, Colin.
Colin, without looking at him.
I know, but now he knows I'm coming.
I sat across from Shelby at a small metal table. Coffee in front of me, gone cold. My hands trembled slightly. I know it's him, Shelby, I said. Every part of me is screaming, it's him. But knowing and proving are 2 different beasts. Shelby nodded slowly. He didn't speak. I looked down at the table. Then, crash! A bullet whizzed past my ear. Glass shattered. Screams exploded around us. I hit the ground, flipped the table. Shelby rolled behind a chair, drawing his weapon. Chaos. People screaming. Running. Blood? No, not yet. Just panic. The shooter was gone. No trace. 1 shot. Just 1. We burst out into the street, hearts pounding. Sirens in the distance. Shelby, I said, breathless. That wasn't a warning. That was a message. He's trying to silence me. Shelby was pale, wide-eyed. What are you going to do, Colin? I stared down the street, toward the direction of Northcrest. I'm going to end this, tonight. I'm breaking into his house. I don't care how. I'll find whatever the hell he's hiding in there. Shelby swallowed hard. That's illegal. So is murder. Midnight. I parked 2 blocks from his villa. Shelby stayed in the car, silent, focused. I stepped into the shadows. Old school, no backup. Just a gun with a silencer, and the rage of a city on my shoulders. No cameras caught me, no lights flinched. I moved like a ghost. Over the fence, past the garden, through the unlocked side door. Inside, everything looked normal, too normal. I checked every room. Living room, empty. Kitchen, untouched. Bedroom, perfectly made. No signs of movement. Then I headed downstairs. Main hallway, marble tiles. And then a sound, a single step. Different, hollow. I stopped, looked down. 1 tile didn't echo like the others. I knelt, pressed, it moved. Pulled it up, and there it was, a hidden stairwell, leading down. Cold, silent, electric. At the bottom, a room. And not just any room, a surveillance bunker. Dozens of monitors, every block in Silverhaven, every street, every corner. Live feeds, zoom lenses, night vision, facial tracking, and at the center, a single terminal, running the hunter. I stood frozen, then slowly raised my phone. Click, click, click. I filmed everything, every screen, every cable, every vile secret. I called dispatch. Send a unit to Wayne Villa, now, code black, full seizure. In minutes, the place was swarming. Boxes, wires, drives, gone. The illusion was over. I stepped outside and dialed. Rocky, I need him, now. Where's Steve? On it, officer. 2 minutes passed, then the voice returned. Got him, GPS hit. 1 device still pinging. Where? A cabin, remote location, near the highway out to Graybridge. My jaw tightened. The bastard's running home. I hit dial again. Shelby, gear up, we ride now. The gravel crunched beneath the tires as we pulled up. No streetlights, just trees, fog, and silence. I stepped out, gun raised. Shelby right behind me. 2 patrol cars followed, headlights dimmed. We moved in silence. The cabin was small, old, wooden. A single light glowed behind the window. I gave the signal. Shelby kicked the door open. And there he was, Steve Wayne, sitting calmly in a wooden chair, hands resting on his knees. No phone, no gun, no resistance. Just waiting. He looked up as I entered. Detective Colin Smith, he said, almost warmly. I always knew you'd catch me eventually. But this fast? I'll admit, you surprised me. I didn't answer, just stepped forward, pulled out the cuffs. Steve Wayne, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit multiple homicides, unauthorized surveillance, and attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. He smiled faintly, didn't fight it. Be gentle with the wrists. These suits are expensive. Shelby cuffed him as I read him his rights. He kept smiling, that same smug little smile, but beneath it, I saw it. The crack. He knew it was over. As we walked him out, the sky started to shift, dark blue fading to gray. Silverhaven's morning had begun, and the hunter was no longer the one hunted. Steve Wayne sat at the metal table, wrists cuffed, back straight, eyes locked forward, cold and unreadable. I entered the room, pulled the chair, sat across from him. A beat of silence. Start talking, I said, all of it, how it began, how you built your game, how you found the killers.
3 years ago, I was having dinner at a high-end restaurant downtown. You know the kind. $300 steaks, walls made of marble, and self-importance. I looked around, and I saw it. He paused, looked me dead in the eye. They had everything. Money, luxury, vacations, lovers. But their eyes were dead, empty. This city, Silverhaven, it's perfect. Too perfect. Smooth streets, clean parks, robots walking dogs. But it had the highest suicide rate in the region. People weren't living, detective. They were stalling. So, I thought, maybe I could help, bring something back. Excitement, purpose, consequences. I built the Hunter, designed every line of code myself. Then I went to the dark web, found men who already had blood on their hands. I gave them a system, rules, rewards. No more chaos, no more senseless killing. This was structured evolution.
I leaned forward, clenched jaw. You think you're a savior. No, he said, I think I'm necessary. I slammed my hand on the table. You're not a genius. You're not a hero. You're a mentally deranged sociopath hiding behind spreadsheets and philosophy. Steve smiled, not wide, just enough.
Is that what makes you feel better about me? Calling me broken so you can feel whole?
I stood. We're done.
The city will forget me, he said calmly, but not what I gave it. You'll see. Steve Wayne was found guilty on 47 counts of conspiracy to murder and sentenced to life in maximum security with no parole. The Hunter servers were destroyed, but echoes of the game continued to surface across the globe.
I stepped out of the room, the weight of everything still heavy on my shoulders. 2 men in black suits were waiting, not cops, military intelligence. One of them stepped forward. Detective Colin Smith, you're under arrest for premeditated murder. Incident, your apartment. I didn't resist, didn't argue. I just nodded. I knew this was coming. I told them everything, why I pulled the trigger, what the target had done, what would have happened if I didn't. But justice doesn't care about intent. I was sentenced to 1 year in a military prison, discharged, stripped of my badge. Shelby walked out clean. I never mentioned his name. She hugged me. I didn't cry, but I think she knew. A few days later, I packed up, hugged her one last time, and returned. To my village, to silence, to peace. I didn't win. I didn't lose. I just finished it.